We are live, guys.
No, that's not
Not at all.
Not at all. Do that all day. All day.
All right.
All right.
We are back.
That we are. Back with another episode.
Back with another episode of The Margins Podcast.
The Margins Podcast.
So,
the show where we break down books we've read, we haven't read, and maybe wish we never started.
Yes.
Guys, we're back again. I'm Stranton. I'm joined alongside with my co-host,
Cristiano.
my man.
And so thank you guys for tuning in this week. If this is your first time here, welcome. And we hope you enjoy yourselves. Stay along for the ride. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So as a,
Well, what if they are?
if you guys are disappointed, just leave it in the comments. We'll block you.
But seriously.
Yeah. So so what's going on today?
Alrighty, guys. A little teaser.
Yeah.
A little teaser. Who doesn't love the little teaser?
Oh, you're giving him a teaser.
Yeah. This episode dives into masks, manipulation,
Okay.
ambition, and what it costs to play the long game. Power moves, fake friendships, and secrets stacked on secrets. Guys, it's The Will of the Many by James Islington.
Not Islington.
Not Islington, my man.
Okay.
We've been there. Because at us, we want to say it.
You definitely want to say it.
We definitely want to say it.
Yeah.
We'll get into James a little bit more and maybe the explanation as to why. Spoiler, there's no reason why, but we'll get into him in a little bit. But to start off, how are we? How are you?
Doing well. Not gonna lie. I think that work is going well. Nai's back, going to work. So she's liking that. The kids are healthy. So get to wake up, the crack at it. Here we are.
What more can you ask for?
What more can you ask for? What about you?
We're good. Rachel's loving her job. I definitely have to ask her when I get home. She had we're just going to get into it. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
She is a therapist, which I've shared before. Doesn't specialize in anything specific. She's definitely studying other aspects, like getting different certifications. But a big part of not why of what she does, but a lot of the common points we have, especially those going through rehab or needing therapy for whatever reason, is sometimes religious trauma.
Right.
We were raised in a certain religion.
Oh, we're getting into it.
Yeah, we're definitely getting into it. But she was excited because she ran a group today with the group of her clients.
That's awesome.
Specifically about religious traumas that they had gone through.
And she has interest in that, so
Absolutely.
I can tell why she'd be excited.
Yeah, people. Anyone says anything about their religious upbringing and where they're at now, she's just like,
that's awesome.
What?
Yeah.
If I say, "Oh, we talked about," she's like, "What? You left me out of that?"
Yeah.
She gets real FOMO about that. But anyway,
how life-giving is that to be able to do what you like to do, and then to also get paid for it?
Oh yeah. And then know that it's gonna affect people.
It's gonna help people.
Yeah, you're talking about my acting career, right?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what obviously is what changes people's lives. Check me out on Tubi. Anyway.
Really, we'll plug it. We'll plug it.
We'll plug it. But yeah, we're doing great. Little man has his second tooth coming in. They're both the bottom front, which I hear it's typically the bottom front or the top front. But it's the bottom front, and still cute as button. And just my little best friend.
Awesome.
So
are you guys still in libraries and?
Yeah, we're still doing story times. We hit the different story times of Silver Lake, Los Feliz, just the surrounding libraries. And then my friend Olivia and Haley just gifted us membership to the Los Angeles Zoo.
Ooh.
So now I can go any day, and I can bring an adult with me.
That's a great gift.
Kids get in free. So, bro, if you want to go boys day,
we can totally do that.
we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's to a certain age. And I want to say,
At least 2.
yeah. Have you paid for him yet at the zoo?
No. Never paid for them.
Yeah, if you, I think I can't. I'll have to find out what the age is, but we could go. You would get in for free, and then he would obviously get in for free, like Max does.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
That'd be a good day.
I'd like that. That'd be an amazing
Yeah.
day.
Anyway, so we're throwing the zoo into there. Thank you, Olivia and Haley, for that gift. We love that. So anything that we can get out, get some steps in.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is we hit up Silver Lake Reservoir and do the little path
some
there,
rounds, yeah.
and that's where I plug in my headphones and start listening to some books or other podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's our week. We were just doing that, and then obviously cracking away at auditions and all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So remind me, do you ever do any like voiceover work?
No, that is something that for the longest time.
I don't know if I've ever told you that, but you might want to.
You might want to get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have dabbled in it.
Yeah.
But nothing professional. But that's definitely something I want to do, like a class or a course or whatever it is to get into that.
Yeah.
I actually thought about doing audiobooks because I was on a previous podcast, not hosting or anything, but as a guest.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the producers was like, "Hey, you have a great voice. You should get into this.
Check this out."
Yeah, if you just stop saying like before and after everything, you'll be really good at that. So got him.
I do. I think you do great. I mean, let's see where this goes. You know,
Are you saying, wait, are you saying that I should just be doing voice and not showing my face?
No.
Are you saying I have a great face for radio? You son of a bitch.
No, but I actually was going to lead into, depending on how this podcast goes, get on XM radio or something.
Oh, yeah.
And lead into,
Absolutely.
why not? But no, just thoughts popped up.
Okay.
So next segment,
Between the wines. Sir,
the
this week
wines.
is you. You have chosen our wine this week.
This week I did choose our wine. So as you guys know, have you heard from my first episode?
Mm-hmm.
Between the Wines is a segment where we pair a wine of our choice with the book that we're going over in the episode. So this week we'll be going over James Islington. I'll call him Islington. James Islington, Will of the Many. And we paired that with, I'm going to crush this name too, Dao. And
That's what I would have said.
yeah, thank you. DAOU for you guys who want to try that out.
Is that what you'd have said, Brutus?
That's definitely what a Brutus said.
Yeah.
So this is Brutus. If you guys haven't met him, he's a part of our podcast.
He's a good boy.
Yes. So this is a Cabernet Sauvignon from Paso Robles.
Paso Robles.
Yes, and this is just giving you guys a little bit about the winemaker.
Mm-hmm.
So experienced winemaker Daniel Dow's mastery of Cabernet Sauvignon, made with care and precision. This wine showcases the depth and complexity and elegance that can be achieved in Paso Robles.
Ooh, very reminiscent of the Will of the Many.
Yes.
I love the front of it. Reminds me of.
You guys probably can't see, but I'll show it to the people who are viewing us. This is the front of Dow. This is very reminiscent. If you guys have read Will of the Many, you'll be familiar with Alquiscor's home.
His estate.
His estate.
Think of
Even like this, the seal.
Yeah, think of Maximus's estate in Gladiator.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Same vibes.
same vibes. We keep those vibes rolling. So yeah, it is great. It is tasty. Did you hear that? That slurp. all of our wine connoisseurs are like, this son of a bitch.
Got to get you guys involved.
Yeah.
Some ASMR here.
That's so funny.
But no, so Yeah, it's a short segment, guys, and for every episode, we'll have that maybe at the end. Let's say, at the end of a season or something, however long we want the season to be, we'll come up with something where we, give that out to our listeners and they can follow along with the books and the wines.
Yeah, true. How would you put that mic in front of your face? Oh, this guy.
How about it?
How about it? Look how crisp you sound now. Look at us. Not here. Look at us.
Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
All right, next segment is what we're reading now. Guys, I'm still on The Lies of Locke Lamora. Really enjoying the book. Very excited to see where it goes. It is. We are getting into it.
Yes.
I'll tell Chris where I'm at. I don't think there's any spoilers. Let me think. Let me run through really quick.
Guys, this book has been out for like a decade, maybe longer.
Jimmy Neutron Brain Blast really quick. Okay. I think I'm good. He just found out that he is... I'll be vague. That he needs to be. He's told that he's going to be betrothed to someone's daughter, and that daughter and him are talking about that. It's literally the moment after of him finding out.
Guys,
so
if you guys have not read this book, go get this fucking book. Okay, you won't be, even if you don't read a lot. It's one of those books that you won't regret reading. Mm-mm. I know exactly where you're at, and it's starting to heat up. Yeah. It's starting to heat up.
Okay, good.
And from here, it doesn't really.
Because it wasn't lackluster before this, but I was like, I know where this is going.
Yeah,
but then there's some twists and turns.
Yeah.
So far already that I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Yeah. Oh, I thought I was going there.
That happens the whole book.
Yeah.
So this book has one of my favorite, like, I guess you can call it a cliffhanger or a twist or whatever, but the way
you watch your mouth.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm the spoiler here if you guys haven't noticed. And so I would totally ruin this for you guys.
Last episode right now.
Fuck. But
it will be the last episode.
Without any spoilers, I remember reading this book the first time and thinking, is this for real? Mm-hmm. Like, I got to be tripping. No, there's not. And then, like, I had this feeling all the way through. And then at the end of the book, I thought I was going to be some kind of relief for it. I'm like, oh no, like, I'm not crazy. This is real. But there's more. And so you really want to get into, like, see how hard it is to fucking tell you without spoiling. So anyways, guys, read the book. You finish the book.
Yeah,
so we can do an episode on it, break it down. And I'm super interested to see how there's going to be parts where I'm like, oh yeah. I knew that you hadn't got to that part yet, because I feel like I got a text message.
Well, even last time I told you where I was at, I said, oh, this person came in and was like talking to this other person. And then I think directly after leaving, it was revealed who the person was. And I was like, oh, that's funny. He was probably laughing at me, the fact that I didn't know that was a thing. So anyway. Being as vague, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm being vague for you. So.
Yeah, it's all for you, all for the listeners here.
Yeah. So I think that is currently it. That I have Babel up next. Like I said in the previous weeks, I still need to start that, and also The Spear That Cuts Through Water for my book club. There are still 2 other people that have not finished the book yet, so I got time. What about you?
Time. Keeping it brief, because as you guys know, I like to read a bunch of books at the same time. Right. I am still slumming it through the Red Rising series, rereading that. Honestly, I say slumming, but I'm lying. As you know, I think it's one of the best, most well-written series ever.
Yeah, Pierce Brown.
Great job. Mm-hmm. Can't wait for the next book. I have read through the series already, and I'm just rereading it again because I had to get my fix, you know, and it's better when you reread it. I think that I've been enjoying it even more this time through, so I'm still slumming it through there. I think it's like Iron Gold. So I'm finishing up Iron. I'm like right at the end. So
I think my brother might be on Iron Gold too for the first time. My older brother. I had been telling him for years for the last year to read it. He'd actually had already started it with his wife.
Yeah.
With my sister-in-law, but
oh, that's cool.
Oh, no spoiler. there's spoiler that
Yeah.
they were listening to it, and there was a reason that they got turned off by the book, and I was like, just keep going. Just keep going. And it's not one of those things where it's like, it gets better by the 5th episode. It's nothing like that.
No.
It's a very niche thing. It's something that the book, the readers would not come across.
Yeah.
It has to do with the audio. So anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't want to get into the spoiler.
I can't wait. Guys, we have to have a spoiler episode. Not today. Not in the
today.
near future.
Not today.
But we will plan a spoiler episode that if you don't like spoilers, you can just skip that one episode.
Oh.
I cannot wait because I'm going to fuck shit up.
So I'm going to skip that episode too because I don't like spoilers.
It'll just be us. It'll be just us together.
Yeah.
We'll just have one episode of just spoiling shit for people who like spoilers.
Okay, so slumming through Red Rising,
Fourth Wing, which mixed feelings about. I like it. I get the hype that you said it was a really popular book. I get the hype.
dragons,
and everyone loves dragons and shit.
Yeah.
Dragons and magic, amazing. Very Aragon-esque. Have you read Aragon yet?
I didn't know you were going to put me on blast, but no, I have not read it yet.
Oh, well, add it to your read list.
I will. It actually is on there. Our friend Bryce had recommended it.
It's good. At least I enjoyed it. Don't if you've seen a movie, don't base it off.
I have seen the movie.
Fucking don't. It's not.
I know.
Don't compare the two.
I get it. I do love that actor though.
Yes.
He's a great actor. Anyway,
but very Aragon-esque, I think. But like put into the academy kind of trope. I enjoyed it. I read it to kind of help me. I mentioned this in the last episode, but I read it to kind of help me go upbeat because I read like a couple not really, but kind of morose books back to back. And then I was like, oh, let me just read something a little bit more upbeat. And
who recommended all those morose books to you?
Was this fucking guy sent across to me?
Hey, I gave you Dungeon Crawler Carl too, so
yes, which is I'm also rereading, going through that again too because love a good laugh, and it's not just well written, but it's funny. It's so funny. So yeah, that's what's on my shelf. That's what I'm reading right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, book review segment. All right. As I said, we're going to talk a little bit about James Islington. Do not pronounce that S. Do not.
Why is it there? Fucking English, man.
To be fair, one.
Yeah.
I don't know where the last name's from. I'm guessing it's actually it could be proper English.
It is for sure.
But my last name is Iono and the A is silent. So offense.
Not really.
Iono.
Phonetically AI.
Uh-huh.
I.
It's I.
No, it's Iono.
Liar.
Phonetically. No,
anyway, James Islington is an Australian fantasy author, best known for writing big, ambitious epics with serious philosophical weight.
Okay.
As I said, I'm dyslexic, so bear with me, guys.
Bear with.
He made a name for himself with the Lycanis trilogy. Trilogy. I put the phonetic spelling on the side. That's why I repeated it, guys.
Is it Lycanis?
I'm sure the comments will tell us.
Yeah, you guys tell us.
Which he self-published before getting picked up by Orbit. That is a ballsy move. I believe Matt did the same. Matt Ditterman did the same thing with
Just self-published.
Dungeon Crawler. Yeah, there's those series that come out, or the versions that came out first, the book covers that are like, looks like AI did it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so he self-published and then was picked up by Orbit.
That's cool.
Now, The Will of the Many, he's diving into a new series, The Hierarchy, that blends Roman-inspired politics, school intrigue, and immoral gray zones with sharp prose and layered world building. Islington writes fantasy for readers who like their stories to ask big questions about power, identity, and who we become when we're forced to play by someone else's rules.
Okay.
How about that synopsis? You want to hit us with the synopsis?
Sounds kind of spicy there. Okay. Fucking Will of the Many. All right, James. So I'll give you guys a synopsis of The Will of the Many. And, everyone has different interpretations. If you ask me not to go on page, I'll give you that one. But I'll read this and then I'll give you my short version. So, The Will of Many is a dense, character-driven fantasy about a young man named Viz. He's a secret heir to a fallen kingdom who must infiltrate an elite academy in a brutal empire that thrives on domination and control. As he plays the long game of pretending to belong, Viz navigates shifting allegiances, internal conflict, and dangerous secrets. He's outnumbered, outmatched, and carrying the weight of a revolution on his back, whether he wants it or not. Short version, this is a fantasy book with a very cool magical system where lower class people cede power to people who are above them. Mm-hmm. This class system is stratified or structured. I think stratified could have went there too.
Yeah, no, both. I was structured. I wasn't saying you're wrong. I was just saying, just to be clear.
So it's structured between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So about 8 different.
Octavius was the first one. So
yeah, about 8 different. Oh, that should fucking tell you, right? Look at this fucking guy.
I watched you count. I said, is he going to count him out? He's going to count him out.
Yeah. Look at this.
8. What a dick.
So for those who have not read this fucking book and didn't get the clue that Octavius was the first one.
Yeah.
There are 8 different classes in this system, right? So you have the lower class people, then you have Octavius, you have Septimus, you have Sextus, you have Quintus, Quartus, Tertius, Domitius, and Princeps. Mm-hmm. So those are your 8 classes. So this is not a standalone. This is just the first book in the series. I want to say the second one comes out
November
later this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys will hear this before then.
They're already, they actually are releasing the early copies right now. Ooh, to like the advanced readers.
How do we get on this list?
I don't know. I think it's.
Oh, okay. They don't know about our podcast.
No, yeah. Obviously. If they knew.
If they knew. They fucking sent us the first copy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we definitely wouldn't share everything.
We wouldn't spoil.
Not it.
Oh, well, I would.
You just had to put your name out there as a spoiler. Great.
I would.
All right.
Okay. I wouldn't spoil that book or, any book if you guys give me a disclaimer. Yeah. Anyways.
So yeah, it's a pyramid. It's legitimately a pyramid.
Yeah.
Scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme society.
Yeah, Michael Scott. It's a pyramid scheme. So, you cede half of your will, your power, your life force to the level above you.
Yeah.
And depending on, I'll try my best to not get into the weeds with it, but because of its Octavius, Septimus, Sextus, that number of whatever it is the number before is how many you're receiving. So there's 7 that are seeding to the 6. There's 6 seeding to the 5, and then it says how many. It's multiplied by a multiplier. So it
goes from Princeps on the low end,
to
Octavius, which is on the high end.
Yeah,
right?
And the Princeps they are getting up to 40,000 people.
So 40,000 people are acceding to the Princeps.
Yeah. So their will, their power.
So they're like top tier.
Yeah.
They're not only like
literally top tier.
Yeah. They're not only in like class, but in power. So they're extremely strong, extremely smart, because they're being ceded to by a shitload of people.
Yeah.
And if you're just a regular degler, if you're just 2 guys like us, you gotta seed. I think at your 16th birthday, 17th, it's one of the teens.
That's 18th? A good question. That's a good question.
16,
I want to say it's 16. I want to say it's 16.
I'll say 16
because Viz is 17.
Yeah, and he lies about his age. So I want to say it's 16 because he wanted to lie about his age because he didn't want to be forced to seed.
Yeah.
Right, which ends up being a major thing in the book, which we won't get into. Just read it. So yeah, that's a short synopsis, and then our description of the book as well. So the next thing is just like the setting and the cultural context.
What's a little bit about that though? The as far as the will, the life force.
Yeah,
I thought that was such a. You weren't pulling that out of anywhere. Like you're not pulling it out of thin air. Which I'm not saying that doing one or the other is easier.
yeah,
But like we go into, which we will at some point. But like Blood over Brighthaven.
yes,
Or Wheel of Time. These magic systems where it's from scratch. It's not something that is an everyday term that's being used.
right.
It was what I'm getting to.
I think that this felt like a more real life version of magic,
yeah,
because it's not like wild magic. It's not like magic for magic's sake, like just moving shit across. It's like, okay, humans have a life force. You give some of that life force to another human and they become more powerful.
You see like movies like that JT movie In Time.
Oh, I love that movie. I
where
just recommended that movie to Lauren like a month ago.
oh really?
Yeah.
Where they're seeding their literal time,
Right.
their life force. So they have the exact amount of time on their arm, and
That's currency.
that's how they pay their bills.
Yeah.
That's how they that's what they get paid in. Yeah, that's their currency.
That's a great linear example.
So yeah, with will, you were literally feeling the force, the power leave your body, and giving that to those above you, and it continues to take from them to the next one until the top.
One, yeah.
So
Unless you're on top, and if you're on top,
yeah,
there you go.
a few problems. But yeah, I wanted to do a character deep dive. Vis, or Diago, previously known as Diago,
Yeah, previously.
our boy.
Yeah.
As we said in the teaser, he is from a fallen kingdom. So the hierarchy took over, and
His kingdom is called Seuss or Sus?
Seuss.
Seuss.
Yeah, Seuss.
Because it has two U's? Okay.
Seuss. So
So Seuss was taken over by the Catadan Republic? Gotcha.
the Catan, yeah.
Katanin. That sounds better.
Yeah,
This
Catanin.
fucking guy. We'll say Katanin.
The Catanin. I have been re-listening to the book, so
Look at
it's
this.
fresh on my mind.
There you go.
It's fresh on my mind.
There you go.
But yeah, I want to mix this with fan casting, just because there was, as far as who could play him and like his attributes, I was kind of thrown. I did ask around and looked on a couple forums of what people who they had in mind.
Yeah.
Did you have anyone straight off?
Specifically?
Yeah.
For Viz, I didn't have anyone specifically. Now I'm like trying to come up with someone top of my head.
I made a list.
Okay, let's see your list and maybe that could help. Because he didn't have any like features that stood out to me crazy though.
No, that's the thing, was it was like not, it wasn't like generic, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like so standout as in like other books we've read.
Right.
When we would, when like Razor Blade Tears, we were like, oh, he has to be a big dude. He has to be strong. He has to be older.
Right.
Whereas this is like he's 17. He like lighter skin, like olive skin probably with tan hair. That's how they described him. But I had looked around. The one that at the top of my list that I saw was Jacob Elordi.
Okay.
He's the one that he was in. He's been in so many things recently, but he did that Saltburn with. You haven't seen Saltburn?
No,
and
that's
then
what that
he was
looked.
also in Euphoria.
Okay, I've seen Euphoria.
He's the Nate,
Okay.
the big dude. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's also about to pop off even further with he has a bunch of movies coming out, but one of them is Frankenstein. I think he replaced Andrew Garfield in that, and it's him and Oscar Isaac, which is the other casting for Ulquiorra.
Score.
You know, you kind of see him in Dune as that general already.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely did see Ulquiorra as someone larger.
I thought I was about to say, for me, it was someone bigger.
Someone larger, definitely.
Yeah.
I saw him, and then I saw, it's just everyone that I was seeing. No one has like this, not that like, if you have size, you can't act. That's not true. We definitely have seen people that can't, but it is a very niche thing, which is why you see people bulk up, you know, become bigger. Like that new He-Man movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
That actor was like doing all like rom-coms, was always like a love interest thing, and then he just put on mass. Or David Corsenet, the one who's playing Superman.
Yeah.
I had seen him originally on The Politician with Ben Platt, and immediately when he was on screen, just because even in that role, I was like, that's Clark Kent. Like this was years before the casting came out that we knew that Henry was having to pass the torch.
Yeah. I'm still sad about it. Yeah,
me too. But I told Rachel when I first saw that episode with him in it, I was like, oh, that guy should play Superman. That'd be amazing. And so I was so happy that he got it. We'll see if it pays off. The trailer did drop today.
Did you watch it? I haven't seen it.
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay.
That was good.
Superman, historically, one of my favorite superheroes. So I'm going to watch it.
No matter what.
So, yeah.
Anyway, that's who, I think Jacob Elordi, Oscar Isaac, I could go with. And then I was thinking the other characters. Oh, the best friends.
The best friends. Calidus.
For Calidus, I did see that they had Timothée Chalamet as possible.
For Calidus?
Yeah, for Calidus.
I don't know if he's kind of too big of an actor for Calidus.
Yeah. You'd almost want someone who can get by without. I guess Alex Wolff would also be kind of a bigger name, but I still think he could, I think he would be good. And then Asa Butterfield from Sex Education.
Okay.
Or what was the big Ender's Game? He was the kid in it. They also had Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things.
For Calidus.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be good.
Yeah.
That would work.
And then I didn't really like any of the Iden ones. Iden I definitely saw as like a larger person.
Yeah.
The only person that I did see in there, but you'd have to do the age jump back, was Tom Hardy. And I was like, oh, he could be that.
Yeah.
But then you think, I'm thinking
more.
But if I didn't know what Tom Hardy looked like when he was younger, if I would have based it off of what he looks like now and thought, oh, he was probably always like kind of more stocky, like muscular, younger, but he wasn't. He was actually really thin and kind of like very pretty,
That's interesting. I'm trying to think for Iden, because when I read it, so this is probably a side effect of me reading more than I watch. His character really reminded me of this guy's gonna kill me for forgetting his name. Hermione dated him in book 4.
In book 4? Yeah.
So that's Iden for me. The same person I imagined when I read.
Oh, really? That's funny. That's actually really. Oh, that's really good.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so that was Iden for me. It actually wasn't a real person. It was an actual. It was the same person in my head when I saw. Well, like I said, he's a real person, and you see the movie. Yeah. He was pretty good. So yeah, that was Iden for me. I think that's his vibe throughout the book. Even when things. Yeah, I won't go into what happens, but yes. Yeah.
We're not doing spoilers, so you guys can keep listening. Don't worry.
Yes. So that's kind of what I was thinking. What's his name?
I know, that's what I'm literally.
It starts with a K. It's book 4.
Igor Karakov.
Yes.
Karakarov.
But what was his name that everyone called his nickname? It was
Dude, no.
No,
Igor was not his name.
No, because Igor's a different person.
That's the professor, I'm pretty sure. It's Victor Crumb. It's Crumb.
Crumb.
Dude, they're going to come after us.
Yes, it's okay, though.
I think we should... Let's just end the episode right now.
Yeah. Give you guys something to talk about. Anyways, so I think Crumb he was the character that I thought about when I read his character.
That's great. That's a great choice.
Yeah. For Viz, I'm gonna be completely honest in saying that I couldn't. There was no one image because he was just. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing because it could have told, it's also a positive in a sense that sometimes the description of someone can alter, but because he's just kind of there, it's not very describable. I didn't really
put thought into what he looks like. For our key score, I did imagine someone a bit larger. I actually don't know this actor's name, so fuck you guys. But he's the buff guy in Chris Hemsworth.
Huh?
Chris Evans.
No. He's big. He's big guy, blonde hair, played in a movie with I'll tell you guys right now. Give me 10 seconds.
What's the movie?
I don't remember the name of the movie. You guys gonna realize this. I fuck names up all the time, and I have to Google things to remember them. So he was in what's Superman's name? The old Superman.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. He was in a movie with Henry Cavill.
Oh, Alan Richardson?
Yes.
Reacher.
Look at this guy. Yeah, Reacher. See? Have a podcast.
Blue Mountain State.
So
episode of New Girl.
That's who I was thinking
penises.
about. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That was all key score to me.
That'd be a great one too.
Yeah.
That is a great one.
So
he's my this might lose colors. I would allow him to be Carl.
Okay.
Height and weight.
Yeah.
Already meets that. Voice. Definitely. If you just had Reacher as a more comedic.
Yeah. I can see that.
And it's not even that he's comedic.
Yeah. It's just like his natural. Yeah. I can see that.
Anyway, so that's a spoiler for that book review when we do that episode. It's gonna be Alan Richardson that I say for deal with it.
At least you guys know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So let me see. Next segment. Hard questions.
So this one's
real
interesting.
Talk.
Yeah. Hard questions, real talk. Typically we will have 5. This is all real time. We're figuring this episode out as far as these questions. I have them listed here on my phone because as I look on my sheet, I'm not seeing them.
It's okay.
Which is even funnier.
Let me see. I'll take some questions from here.
No, I have them right here. Don't worry about it. Alrighty. So we can either do them rapid fire, or let me see this. Let me see.
So while you look that up, one of my favorite things about this book was, I think that it was very easy to enter like the fantastical land that James wrote, and I really enjoyed the narrative, like following the narrative of finding out that his past, finding out more about like his friends that he makes. I'm trying not to spoil anything here, but super impactful moments in terms of I don't know what to call it. I guess faith, loyalty, how complex it is to be loyal in a society where hierarchy means so much, right? I think that I really enjoyed that part of the book because that made it. That was as I was reading. That's what I was kind of tying into real life. The fact that you can make friends of all different kinds of walks of life, and Sometimes it's, you know, easier. Sometimes it's more difficult to be a good friend, or, you know, what, I guess I'm not gonna say a bad friend, but like even for myself, there's point in times in my life where I feel like, damn, I could have been better. You know, I could have handled this better, or I wish I'd have been more open at this point, or I would have should have been more. And these are themes that you think about when you're reading this book on like the higher level, because on the lower level, it's just a fun book to read. Great magical system, goes to academy, you know, has to get over all these obstacles. There's a higher political scheme that's going on that he has to navigate through. All that's happening at the same time. You have these other things that are going on with like the interpersonal relationships. I think that that's one thing that James did very well, to the point to where I was, by the time I got to the end of the book, I was like, man, I'm ready for book 2 now. So, yeah, one of my favorite things about the book, though.
I think the way so when I originally told Cristiano that I was reading this book, I told him I was a little bit in, and I did say, I don't think I'm going to finish. I finished all books I read, but I was like, I know I'm going to finish it, but it's a copy paste with Red Rising. That's all I'm going to say. That's what I thought. It was not. Not. I definitely came back to him, and I was like, scrap what I said. Not the case.
Yeah.
Not the case at all. It's very much its own thing. Because it was pitched to me as Red Rising, but with Roman inspired. And then nowadays everyone loves to do like this is Hunger Games, but in Rome. This is Hunger Games, but in high side. Yeah. Whatever.
I guess if you really try to minimize.
Yeah, if you try to minimize
it.
Because then guess what Hunger Games is? There's a ton of anime that came long before Hunger Games that, guess what? Hunger Games is this and that, you know. So don't do that to me. So anyway, I was definitely that person, as I say that.
We played that game.
But I do love that from the get, this was having to be like on, like he's so dialed in and knows like down to how he carries himself physically, speaks, and, you know, addresses people, what he needs to do in order to be like Mystique.
Yeah.
You know, not to be unknown, to be just a passerby, just because he does not want anyone, one, to recognize him, or two, pull him to any type of need to be forced to cede his will. Yeah,
that's his main thing. He doesn't want to cede as well. Yeah. I'll be honest. He's not my favorite person in this book.
No, that's the craziest part about it. That James does a wonderful job, like Pierce does, and not again not to say that they're alike as far as storyline, but in their secondary characters.
Yeah, they developed them so well. Yeah. So I did want to get into like some of our favorite characters.
Yeah. Okay.
So I know we're gonna go through
the questions. I definitely have those, but I want to do as I was about to start the questions. I was like, I know we're not doing spoilers, but I feel like we should share a little bit more about the book before we do that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So in terms of like some of the like main characters, you have Viz, who's obviously the main character. Okiscore, who's also one of the main characters, adopted father. You have Calidus, who I call his best friend, although he has two. He has a few friends. He has more than two, but I think he has two really good friends. For sure. Yeah. And I think Calidus is his closest friend.
Yeah.
You have Emisa and Aqua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Equa.
The A is silent.
Yeah.
Like the A in Iona.
Iona.
Yeah. So I think that and oh sorry guys, there's a lot more characters.
Yeah, but that's I mean as far as what you're talking about,
Endo, etc. But I think that what I really enjoyed about some of these characters, my favorite characters, Viz was not there. Aiden was one of my favorite characters. Calidus was probably my favorite character. I think that Calidus had the most to lose out of anyone in the whole book. the position his father's also a senator, just like Alki Score. Albeit the position that his father's in is probably even more precarious than Alki Score. He's playing a similar but different game than Viz, yet he's more vulnerable, and he does a better job of being a good friend than Viz. He is by far my favorite character in the book, and that's not saying everyone else is lackluster, because once again, great job with everyone. You know, even like the love interest, like the two, I guess you would call them love interests that Viz had, but they were great too. But I truly think that the way that he developed Calidus was perfect from their initial, meeting and relationship, and how it developed into what it came to be. So yeah, that's my favorite character in the book. What about you?
As far as the friends go, I do love Calidus. But I do love Iden. I do love a backstory like his.
Yeah.
Where, kind of like, oh, you think I'm privileged? Nah, no. Dude. That's not what's happening here.
Yeah.
It's still not what's happening here. And it's like he has a knee to his neck at all times. So
yeah, I see that.
So I do love that aspect. Lannistia is also another favorite character of mine.
Yes.
She's just the badass and is blind.
She is blind. Yeah, I forgot about that. The one who
trains him. Yeah.
So, she kicks his ass.
Yeah, at all times. At all times. Yes. And has the ability to see because of, So, she was another character. As I was reviewing all my notes, I was like,
oh yeah, she's definitely one of the top characters.
It's a great one. And then actually Indol's not too far off for me either.
Really?
Yeah, I like him just because, without getting into the weeds about it, you said something earlier about, or just now about Calidus, about he's playing a similar game like Viz.
Yes.
This book is everyone's playing a game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everyone is playing a game.
So, how like the students, there's different class of students, and you have to work your way up and to be in the higher class. I think that there's a direct correlation to the level of games the students are playing and the class that they're trying to get into or that they're in. Yeah. Right? So remember, Viz, Key Score wanted him to get into it. I'm not spoiling you guys.
No.
Wanted him to get into a certain class or up to a certain class, and you have everyone in that higher class, the higher couple classes, are all playing some kind of heightened game. Everyone, like there's high stakes for everyone, and
that's not only those that are at the school.
Yeah,
that's the thing, is that from the get, as you're introduced to Viz and his world, literally everyone that he meets has some sort. I mean, I guess that's kind of how it is in the real world too, if we're really thinking about it. But this is like so sharp and vivid what everyone is trying to gain in each of their paths.
Right.
Whether it be from his original job, working at the Sappers, or the fights that he does, or with the adoption agency and the kids, or the
house mom, whatever,
house mom,
the foster mom,
her whole thing about having the kids seed to her, who seed to other, all of that. Yeah. And then Kiskor, who's this adoptive father, who
he's an interesting character,
absolutely,
bro.
Right off the bat, is just like, look, I know you're doing something. I don't know what it is.
Right.
But you're doing something. So I'm going to give you this opportunity. It's a great opportunity. If you mess up.
It sure
and that's where he leaves it. That's where he leaves it. He says, if you mess up.
Yeah,
and then this is like, you'll what?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's exactly.
Find out.
Yeah. Fuck around, find out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that I enjoyed that the most about Lucky Score of me, and to be honest, it's through most of the first book where you're like, wait, like what's going on? Like, exactly. Are you a good guy, a bad guy? Are you like, why are you here? His role in the story is not just like story progression, but it's also protagonist, it's antagonist, it's he's a little bit of everything, and I think that that's really difficult to do.
Oh, absolutely.
It's especially to do well, like at the level that James wrote Alki Score. yeah, absolutely top tier character. I think that, and he's probably the most complex. I think he's probably the most complex character.
Without spoiling anything, I love that his attitude is not that I love it for the story. That's what I should say.
Yeah,
I love that for the story. His attitude towards everything, specifically with Viz, is do it.
Yeah, get it done.
And Viz is like and Viz isn't someone who's looking for an out at any time. He's a very capable person. It's actually something that we can talk about this, but a fact that a lot of people dislike about Viz.
Yeah,
what I've seen is as far as a character flaw, is that they say that he's too good at everything.
They think it's like a plot armor.
Yeah.
Plot armor.
But
that's a key part of who he is.
Yeah, he's
it's how he survived to where he got to right now, and it wasn't easy. He struggled and he survived.
I see your point, guys that feel that way. I disagree though, because I feel like James did a great job of saying what his upbringing was, and it's not like good thing he also studied this. You think of a prince and you think of, especially if you're going Roman Empire, what they had to be prepared for at all times. I feel like the things that he was good at wasn't like out of the bag. Like it wasn't like, it was a very niche thing that he needed to know how to juggle this specific way.
So going back to what you said previously about how Key scores, like he has a very do it attitude. Without Viz's ability to make shit happen, this book is impossible to write.
It's done pretty quick.
It's impossible to write.
Yeah, it might be like right at the transect at the very beginning would have probably been donezo.
Yep. So I really get where they're coming from in terms of like the whole Viz has plot armor and it's a key aspect of his character build. So I can respect that, and then also because he's dealing with very real situations of just surviving. For him, this is not like he knows he's smart, but at the same time, he understands that his place in the world, right? And I think that this really gets put on Front Street when he gets into the academy and he was like, oh shit, I'm not the smartest.
Yeah.
I'm smart, and I can use that how I use that is my superpower. You know? So for example, there's a part where they play some game. I won't get into the spoiler, right? His upbringing and how he weaponizes it is his actual superpower. It's not that he's smart. Everyone in this book is fucking smart. Everyone. Like, it can't be plot armor if everyone has it.
Yeah. It's knowledge versus knowledge. I was going to say knowledge versus wisdom, but it's not even that. It's the correlation. It's the combination of the two.
Right.
How you're able
and how you're utilizing it in these situations. And, because going back to what we said earlier, he's not the only student in an impossible situation.
This book could have been written in so many, even as like from any of the other characters, it would have been an interesting book.
They could have all been main characters. Equa, main character. Calidus, main character. Like everyone could have been their own main characters, and it would have been just as interesting. To be honest, it might have been, even for me, Calidus more interesting. You know what I mean? Iden more interesting. I think that there are more interesting characters than Viz, which could be by design, because I'm a real advocate of like juxtapositions. Like I love them in literature and in anything, because I think that, for example, you don't know how good something feels until you've had nothing. If you've never had nothing, you have no idea the mountains you can climb, or how the feelings of climbing that mountain. You might know how it feels to have some highs, but your highs are direct correlation to the troughs that you've been through. So with that, I really do think that this is a strong book in terms of like how well it's written. The prose is great. Characters are great. The plot points are amazing. Great twists and turns that you get, throughout the book, and then especially at the end.
It's super reminiscent of like I said, not in the sense of copying it all, but reminiscent of Red Rising, reminiscent of Name of the Wind. And
yes.
That path that, that's in that book. Reminiscent of, there's even, there's just so much, but it's so uniquely its own.
Yeah.
I absolutely. I enjoyed every part of this book. All confusing parts that I had to reread as well too.
Yes, I definitely reread the ending.
Absolutely,
because
multiple times.
Like,
the ending
what?
is I mean, at the beginning,
I first thought it was a mistake. I'm like, there's no what the fuck just
someone reread.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what's happened? And I reread. I'm like, okay, it wasn't a mistake. Got it. I understand now.
Okay, let's get into some of these questions.
Yeah.
Let's just do rapid fire.
Let's do rapid fire.
See what we got. Okay, specific to Will of the Many.
Yes.
How much of yourself would you be willing to hide to get access to the rooms that matter?
I'm not going to get too deep here, but for a long part of my life, a big component of it was not being everything that you are at all times.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah,
I feel like that goes almost the other way, though. Not to be contradicted. That's like I'm. Oh, okay. No. That's not.
You get what I'm saying?
Like, you're giving up that part of you.
Right.
I'm not gonna show you
be
that
able
I'm this. Yeah, maneuver around.
Maneuver.
No,
yes.
I see. I hear you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's hard. That's. I feel like most of in the acting world, there's so much of even if it's cliche, people's like fake till you make it.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you need me. I ride horses. I definitely ride horses. Mm-hmm. I've always skateboarded. Mm-hmm. I skateboarded so long. I'm such a skateboarder.
You like this?
Can you hear me? I can
that.
skateboarder so good.
Yeah.
I did skate growing up, so don't even get at me. But as far as hiding, I guess in the light that you just kind of shined with that, I guess that is that as well, where you're like, oh, maybe hide. Sometimes you hide your abilities. Sometimes you hide your.
I mean, even I'll give you one that is, you can, stop me if I'm, incorrect, but like even at work, for example, it's something that I'm trying to go from an angle that, everyone can kind of, get into. If you're not working at a company that's actively trying to reward people for what they can do and what they know, it does become a game of picking and choosing what you show in order to get by, you know? So for example, if you just want to, they're rewarding a certain group of people or a certain type of role. And you're like, wow, I'm not in that role. How do I get seen? How do I get further in this company? And you realize that what you know isn't how you get further, Mm-hmm. So sometimes it can be I'll give you a very specific example in the work situation. So you get hired and that technically you have the experience to get paid more, but because of, what's going on, you may not be able to make more, or, you may just really need the money. So you end up accepting a job, getting paid less with the idea that you can grow and make more. And then in action, you realize like, wow, not only do they not value me at what I'm worth, they have no idea. And if they did, they'd have to fire me because they're not willing to pay me what I'm worth. Right. So it's a tough game.
It feels like a past life of mine. All right, let's see what else we have here.
That was a good question, though. Good rapid fire. And if you guys haven't read the book, this connects directly to the book. Viz is, once again, if you guys didn't listen to the first half, you missed it. He is a prince from a fallen country of Zeus, and he has to hide that because it was conquered by the Katanan Republic.
At what point does pretending to be someone else become who you are?
You want me to answer first? Or you want to answer first?
You answered first last time, right?
Yeah.
I'll do it this time. I think that is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
I think there's like a one-off, I don't know if you can call it a one-off. I think there's in your own head, there's a safety net saying, oh, this is a one-time time, like one-time thing. But the moment I think it also depends on who you're doing it with. If it's someone you respect that you're going to see often, and you jeopardize or you take that risk at that moment, you are jeopardizing who you are and who you will be seen as in their eyes.
Right.
So I think there's power in your words, in your actions, without getting too deep, but just in you, there's definitely affirmations, whether you mean them or not, your own mind's going to hear you say what you're saying. So yeah, I guess that's my take on it.
I like that. Yeah, I agree. And it is a slippery slope. I think that you're on the right path there. I agree exactly what you're saying. Like, you almost have to, not almost, you definitely have to have a net there, because one day you'll wake up and you'll be someone you never wanted to be, you never thought you can be. And this doesn't always have to be a bad way, it could be a good way too, but yeah.
It could also, I mean, literally like what you were just saying is how it applies.
Yeah.
Is you tell a company, a person, whatever you want, insert there, that you are less than, more than, whatever you want to choose.
And then you act that out over time.
You're going to start forgetting, oh, wait, I can do more. Or you have the resentment build the whole time that I can do more. And then you're something that you don't want to be anyway, which is disgruntled and upset.
And you become a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. I like that answer.
That was your answer. I shined it.
Yeah. No, I didn't answer. I didn't answer.
Your answer was that answer.
Yeah. Yeah. You did good. I think if I had to answer really quickly, the moment that you start to believe it.
Yeah.
So I think that if you ask the question again, just for the listeners.
Yeah, it is. At what point does pretending to be someone else make you become who you are?
Yeah, when you start to believe it. And not just like the all of a sudden moment, but the moment you start to believe that, you've now played yourself. It's okay to fake it till you make it, but you're not faking it anymore once you start to believe it.
Yeah.
You're now becoming it. And I think that whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's really important to be cognizant of. I don't want to, I'll tell you, I do like a quick digression here. And this is something that me and Nye spoke about all the time, especially early on when I came back from London and China. And I would say this thing that her and her mom hated, but it's a truth for me. When I was in my 20s, I realized that the world is just manipulation. Everyone in the world wakes up and they try to figure out how to make their day go the best it can go for them. And the only way they make that happen is to manipulate everyone around them to acquiesce to what they want or things that make them more comfortable. And there's higher levels of this and lower levels of this, and everyone's playing that same game. It can be small things like, I don't know, I'm not a morning person. It can be things as deep as, oh, I don't like doing that. I don't like to hear, I don't like this. Like you're literally trying to manipulate the world around you to make yourself more comfortable as you go through it. And I think that there's a danger in that. There's wild pro points that anyone can point out, but I think there's a danger in trying to mold the world to be more comfortable to what you think is comfortable, because you're sharing it. And won't get deep into that. But
I love that.
Yeah.
That rings true. Alrighty, we'll make these ones rapid fire. These are actually non-specifics.
Okay.
Shoot. It. So we'll try to be as non-specific as possible.
Yeah, we'll shoot.
You ready?
Yeah.
What would break first, your values or your loyalty, if you were dropped into this world? Off the cuff, I think it's my loyalty.
I was saying the same thing, because I think values are the only thing that people respect in this particular world. Loyalties,
Especially when you're trying to figure it out, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, this goes all the way through the book, and he still doesn't know who he's loyal to or what he's loyal to. So, yeah, for me,
values.
Yeah, values all day.
I agree.
Would you make a good leader in this world system? Why or why not?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always. I mean, I'm physical, but I'm also very cerebral, and those two aspects are regarded highly in this particular world, and more so, I love to achieve. I love to achieve, and I think that that's also highly regarded. So I do think I do well.
I think in a world where it's all about becoming like the favorite.
Yeah.
As a diagnosed people pleaser, I think this is the world where I excel. Yeah. Definitely. I'm not going to come out and say, like, I guess it did say a good leader. Ooh, guys, maybe not. Could be.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully no more. We'll see, but yeah, I definitely think lobbying would be, because you definitely see the senators aspect and everything. Right. I think that would be something that I'd be interested in that world.
I mean, what I liked about the book is that this is not spoiling anything. Some things are written to where there aren't any real bad guys. Everyone has a point of view that can be backed up with something. This is one of those books. So the reason why I think that we would do well and we would be able to lead well is that the ability to lead, yes, it has something to do with like what you know and what you can do, but a lot of it has to do with your ability to move people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And get along with the people around you. How many circles can you move through? Kind of thing.
What can you manipulate? Right.
Our key score, we spoke about it off camera, but the fact that he was he was costumed as one thing. Yeah. Then the next scene he was you know what I mean? So I'm not trying to give away the
Describe. Yeah.
But like, so that ability can also be the sign of a leader. I'll wrap it up here in the sense that J. Cole has a line where he talks about like the president never going through the hood, never been in the hood. Mm-hmm. People need to see themselves in you. It doesn't matter if you're the president. It doesn't matter if you're, the neighbor. To make them feel more comfortable, they have to see some kind of similarities. Yeah. And that's the mark of a good leader.
I always have hot sauce in my purse. Pandering. Alrighty. Which character's decision felt most like something you would have done, even if it wasn't right?
Without spoiling. Yeah. You want me to go first? Because I can come up with
You have one? Or
yeah, I have a bunch. So can you read the question?
Yeah. Which character's decision felt most like something you would have done, even if it wasn't right? It's not saying that it doesn't have to be right. It's just saying that.
Breaking back into the. Can I say it?
Go ahead. If it's a spoiler, we can do a spoiler alert.
This might be a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler though. So we'll put a marker, but I don't think it's a spoiler. But just going back into the ruins.
Oh, and Ulikium.
Yeah, because I remember reading it and I was like, oh, why? And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you don't know. To be honest, I didn't trust anyone. At this point in the book, I didn't trust anyone in Viz's life the first time he went. And I still didn't, throughout most of the book. But I totally got why he went back, and because I have that trait of just wanting to know and that can be detrimental sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gotta scratch it.
Yeah.
I think mine would have been one of Aiden's. I was torn between Aiden and Callus, and it's funny because one is because of his choosing to help Viz, even though he is in the predicament that he's in.
Aiden.
Aiden.
Yeah.
And then also Calidus choosing to help Viz, even though he's in the predicament that he's in.
I think that's for Calidus, it's less
stakes.
So his stakes are still high, but I think for Calidus, it's less. I'm less like, oh, why? Because I get
because
I get the whole that Viz feels in Calidus's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I'd have been like, why be friends?
Yeah.
With Viz?
As in general? Oh, for Calidus. Yeah.
Calidus, even Aiden, I think. Even a bit of Aiden.
Well, and that's why I think that's why with Aiden came to mind first, was because he's been through so much, but yet he still couldn't put down the fact that, like, no, this is the right thing.
Yeah.
And I see good in this guy.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my answer. Alrighty. What would you place dyslexia, guys. What would your place be in this world? Climbing power, avoiding attention, or burning it all down?
I'm going to say climbing power, mostly because I deeply believe that you can't change anything without playing the game.
I'd probably lean towards climbing power or probably climbing power as well.
Yeah, because like you gotta think about it, like if you try to hide it out and not be noticed, you still run the same risks.
I'm not a burn it all down person. As much as sometimes I wish I was a burn it all down person.
Yeah.
I'm not. If I find out that, even if I'm upset with someone, like really angry at someone, if I let it all out, I then want to go back and be like, not I'm sorry, but can we figure this out?
Right.
Let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, let's not.
There's a better way forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not excusing anyone's actions or saying that what your feelings are not that. But anyway.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
I get it. Yeah.
Okay, final. What's the most dangerous kind of loyalty? To a person, a cause, or a lie?
I personally think to a cause. And I'll try to be short with this, but I think that the reason why is because causes tend to be bigger than the people who take them on. So you can take on something that was nothing that you weren't even born into it. You're just taking on a cause because you something happened and you were invigorated and now you believe in that, and once someone believes in something, it's almost impossible to change their mind, even if that thought isn't the popular thought or the popular thing to go with, or even if it's dangerous. So I think the cause is the most dangerous one.
Mine right off the bat was people. I was raised in something that I've had life experience where people were put on pedestals, and I was told to look and kind of listen and follow. And I have since tried to like deprogram that. Whereas like, especially when it comes to like patriarchy, and that's not a dig at my actual father and everything, the patriarchy in my family. Love my dad. He's amazing man. But like in organizations, whether it be companies or whatever it may be. But I was always taught, and then like once you get into sports too, it's like, oh, your coach is like the person you gotta listen to. Yeah. You gotta everything they say, and then as you get older, you're like, I get the benefits of like learning teamwork and everything, but I don't need to listen to. You don't need to have anyone on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to stay there. And if you based your faith, your trust, your loyalty in whatever that person was saying, which could be a cause, which could be a lie, it's really easy for your own world to then be shattered because it's like, oh, they were that for me.
So not pulling up a counter argument, but just, spiritual thinking here, giving some other thoughts to that. I agree with what you're saying, but the reason why I think that people are a lesser evil than believing in a cause is that we are people, and like take away the industrial complex so there's no 9 to 5. Take away social media so there's no people pleasing 100% of the time. Take away film, take away music, take away we would still have music and dance and literature.
Yeah.
But take away the things that make us who we are today, like the clothes, the things that we do to show where we're at in life and all the other stuff, people would still be there. So I don't think that's an avoidable situation. I think that it's so inherent and important to who you are that it's almost impossible. For me, it's unfathomable to not actually
have loyalty
to a person, because whether it's good or bad, you will always look towards people who are like you to make the building blocks that become you. It's babies. Like there was I won't go super deep, time, but there was you can look it up. There was a study done on this kid that got lost in the woods when he was a baby. He was young. I want to say he was like 3 or something like that. And when they found him again, he was a little bit older, because people were just out in the wilderness. They saw his kid running with fucking wolves, like literally running, eating, sleeping with wolves. They picked him back up, did a bunch of research on him. He had no language. He would howl like a wolf. He would snarl. He did everything like wolves. He had no sense of being human, and they had to reteach him what it was to be human. And I remember reading through that, and I was like, wow. That's how important people are to you. So even if it's something, and it's no cop out, like, yes, sometimes people have the wrong information. Sometimes they follow the wrong cause, 100%. But you could find someone who's in the wrong cause who's still a good person.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Which is why people isn't the thing that I would hook onto. I think that the cause is the issue, because it clouds their point of view of what it is that it's affecting the world around them. They almost don't care, and I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm not going to put a 1-to-1, but I'm pretty sure everyone, you yourself, listeners, you guys could all find something in your lives that it's like, wow, someone believed in this so much that whether it affected the people around them or not, they give no fucks. And that's the danger of a cause, because it takes the point of view off of the number one thing that is important to us, which is just people.
Yeah.
Just being people.
I see it on that one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of it is there's a gray area between these where the person could be the person who created the cause.
Yeah.
Or created the lie, or, but if we went through and just like, as the question asks, put it down to one thing, I could see it being cause. I could definitely see that. Okay. That's a great breakdown. I enjoyed today. Me too.
I think that those were great 5 questions, by the way. Those questions were amazing. I think they really, for those who have not read the book, it will definitely prepare you to take on the themes and things that happen in that book. And for the people who have read the book, I hope that you enjoyed those questions, because they are, right up the alley of what you've read.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, like we said, we were both big fans of this book.
Yes.
We cannot wait for James to drop the next one, which, from what I understand, will be in November.
Yep.
James, thank you. I am planning on reading the Lycanus trilogy.
Yeah, we have to.
It's on my to be read.
And I'm gonna try it on that advanced readers list.
Yeah,
Because what the fuck?
I think the guy that I saw that was on it worked at either a bookstore or a library. I don't know if that was the aspect, but I definitely want to see how to get in on those.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing?
James, I'm gonna DM you. Let's hop in those DMs, bro.
About it. Yeah. So we would definitely both recommend this. I think I could say that full heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, especially if you like exciting books, it's a fantasy book, great at world building, great character development. There's more to come, so it's not something like where you're reading like, oh wow, I wish
highly anticipated. Yeah. The book is it's the will of the many and the strength of the few.
Yeah.
So strength of the few, coming out in November. Guys, as far as the next read goes, it could be one of many.
Yes.
We could be looking at The Sword of Kaigen.
Yep.
We could be looking at another book by the same author, which is
Blood Over Brighthaven. Yeah.
Right there.
Shoot, if you finish Loch Lamora, we might be able to do the Loch Lamora. Later on.
It's also a series, though, too.
I can't wait till we get into the series. It is a series, but just you'll see what you'll see what I mean. Like each book could be a standalone.
Okay.
It's a series, but each book could be a standalone.
And then we also have Red Rising.
That's what I'm most excited for.
Dungeon Crawler as well.
Yeah, Dungeon Crawler, Carl.
And then there's also books that we have also had on like the to read together.
Mm-hmm. I really want to. Let me see if this. I really want to do this one too.
The Message.
Yes,
that's really good.
I think that this would be a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
The Message by. I'm gonna mess up this name.
You set yourself up, bro.
Sorry, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, sue me. Don't sue me. I'm poor.
Yeah. His books are amazing. Cristiano is actually the reason I read this book because he had this physical copy. And my buddy David from the Bricked Up Book Club asked me if I had read it yet because he saw a clip of it in a sneak peek I showed him of the episode. And I was like, no, I have not. And then I spent a weekend reading all of his books.
Yeah.
And phenomenal writer. Yeah, I would love to do an episode on that one. So
awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Margins podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I am your host, Cristiano, and
Stranton. Guys, please like and subscribe. You guys can go ahead and follow us at The Margins Podcast on Instagram. Yeah, that's our handles.
We'll have a YouTube handle, hopefully the same.
And then the website, themarginspodcast.com.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you soon. See you guys.